So it'll make the whole point of this wasn't to sell or for people to use, it was to learn from, so that way you guys can spread your wings and take your design and creativity and do what you wanted to do, whether it's something from scratch or just modifying something that you exist. But honestly, the articles category module was the first module that I started practicing on, and I use that on almost every project, but there's probably very few pages, including J2 Store, where they have the products, since they use the articles to attach to. I use the article category module to display them, and it allows you to use all the filtering options. You know, if you want to add a tag to them, if you want to only display specific ones. I mean, it gives you the full functionality, and so once you understand how to tap into that, it opens up the door to so many possibilities. But for what we're going to go right now is we're going to go back into the boring PHP storm, which where did it go? Right there. Okay. So we kind of went through what makes up the template. We went through everything except really the HTML file. Now, normally in like the Cassiopeia template, for instance, everything that you need for the entire site, as far as structure wise, is found on the index.php file. That's the header, the head, the footer, the main content, everything in between. But I found that having all of that on one page, it gets really easy to get lost in the code and to make mistakes when everything is all over the place. So what I ended up doing is using the same structure. And look, I'll just tell you this: I did not create any of this stuff. I found some old, master Bootstrap 3 template from way back in the day. And that's what I started from. And I saw how they set it up, where they basically have an includes folder right here. And in the includes folder, they kind of broke down. So now there's a separate footer section. There's a separate header section. There's a separate page content section. And the beauty is that when I now look at the index page, it's not as cluttered. I mean, this is the entire index page when it comes to the HTML. It's easier for me to see exactly where everything's at, because here is, if I need to deal with the header, I just have to go into the header file. But this is where it sits in the overall structure of the website. This right here is the code for a module position that I made called full top, which goes across the full width, because then on the page content, that's where there could be a container that centers the content inside it. And then underneath that, after the main tag here, then I have the footer. And then I have the debug module position here as well. But then if I want to actually deal with footer items, which is an easy place to start, because as we saw, the footer is very, very sparse. If I click on that and I open this up, there's not a lot here, but a lot of the stuff here at the bottom, it has to deal with when you flip the switch on that template setting to show what page is, is this an article page, a category, what is it? What's the menu ID? All the information, instead of having to scratch your head in the back, all of that's found down here after the footer tag. But everything above it, it's really simple. I just have a footer left position and a footer right position, and then I have the normal Bootstrap code that wraps around it. And then wrapped around the actual footer left module position is a col-auto class, which will just automatically, if I have 4 of these, it'll just put all 4 in alignment. But by doing it this way, it makes it easy for me to break it down and not have to sit there and look through. The more complex sites, you're going to have a lot more items, but you can just simply, you can break it down, copy sections of the main, whether it's Cassiopeia or anything. And that's what a lot of these template builders, themes and everything else, they essentially do this, but they add a whole lot of extra stuff in there because they want to be able to offer, all the bells and whistles for whatever task that anybody may possibly need or that's requested. By doing it this way, you're basically leaning down and only putting things in your template that you need for that particular job. But the cool thing is the next template that you build, the 10th, the 20th, it's not like this code, is you never see it again. You're like, oh, I could use this from this one project. So you jump in there, you copy it, you paste it, drop it in there, and now you have it. Or you make this one better, you go back and update it before. So everything kind of feeds its own ecosystem that you create. And I'll tell you, there's been plenty of times that I would spend 3, 4, 5 hours on something that now I look back going, I can't believe I wasted 5 hours of my life to do something that now I can almost do in my sleep. But it's part of the process. It's just, it's just one of those things that you go through. But once you break through, then you're able to have that aha moment, and then it's off to the races. Then you're suffering from Joomla-itis, and you can't wake up. You can't wait to wake up in the morning and kick those sheets off. And it's exciting because, look, humans are like bicycles. We're meant to go forward. When we stop, we fall over. And that's just the way that we're built. So when we're able to learn new things, especially things that we can offer to make the world better by making our clients' projects better, then we feel better about in general, and it's exciting. I mean, it's really to have that kind of power. Nobody can take it away from you.